Thank you for joining us for another episode of His Wife, Her Husband.
I am Shamika, his wife,
I am Patrick, her husband, and our purpose is to help you build
and sustain your
from a
marriage.
biblical perspective. Today, we are coming from
The
the
Bible,
Bible
the book,
to Biblia,
the Biblia.
the collective writings that we call the Bible. All right.
The Bible. Yes, that's the book for me. I stand alone on the word of God. The Bible. Sing it with me. The Bible. Yes, that's the book for me. Okay, okay.
I don't know.
Oh, I gotta teach it to you.
I mean, I got it now. I probably would mess it up still. The basic instructions before leaving Earth. So here we go.
Yeah.
Bible.
When it comes to the Bible, we have a tendency to be dismissive of it. Some people want to dismiss it, but it's the basic instruction. It's here to help you out.
It'll help you.
If you get in it, I'm telling you, the
It'll get in
Lord.
you.
Yeah, I like that.
I don't know
Listen,
where it's from.
yeah, oh yeah, me either. But if you, when we, not if, when we make the decision to get in it, I'm telling you, the Lord is so loving and so caring that He allowed His mind, not His exhaustive mind, but He allowed enough of what we needed to know
Mm-hmm.
about Him. He allowed it to be written in the book
Mm-hmm.
to help us out pertaining to us. You know, you think about it, He is the creator of every soul that's on the earth. And so with that being said, He knows the solution for us too. So it's to our benefit, not to hurt us. It's to our benefit to get in the Word of God, to study His ways, to know what He says so that we can have a better way of life. Because there is a quality way of living. I think about sometimes, we're going to get in the text, but y'all just ride with me today. I think about how we are in a fallen, fractured world, and how we can still apply the word of God and it'll still work in this world that is going astray. It worked, and it strengthens us to be upright and to be righteous still and to establish His kingdom in the midst of a dark, deprived, and failing world. He has He has created it so that we can still allow the light of His Holy Ghost to shine through us, to be a beacon of light and hope to someone else that He is alive. So with that being said, don't think that your marriage is just something just that's just kind of haphazard or a fluke. No, your marriage, our marriages are was it is an idea of the mind of Christ and the mind of God for us to be able to express and to be able to visibilize. I don't know if that's a word, but to visibilize, to make to make
Gone too
visible,
fast. Yeah.
to make visible relationship at its finest, at its core. Two human beings becoming intimate and walking hand in hand and sharing life together, overcoming adversity, overcoming accomplishments. I mean, doing all of the things.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, hey, this is what true living is all about. It's being in relationship with somebody as you go through, that you're not alone. And guess what? When we give our lives to the Lord, He lets us know He'll never leave us nor forsake us. No, never, never, never.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Also, it's a reflection of the Godhead, how the three become one. The marriage is a great mystery, but it's a reflection of God in His relationship with the Father. I mean, with the Son and with the Spirit of God. So we become a reflection um, of how you can be unified, as Shamika said, where the two are one.
Yeah. And
And
it's a
so,
mystery.
and it's a great mystery.
Hey, you try to explain it. It's something to you can
You can get close. I think you can get close enough to explain it, but
yeah, but no, ain't nothing
because
like
because
experiencing
His
it.
thoughts are so higher than my thoughts, and His ways are higher than my ways. Um, what David said, um, his wisdom is so high I can't attain unto it. But I think it's a great journey trying. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
it's a great objective.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, let's
And
go
imagine
for it.
how far you will go trying to attain the wisdom of God or going after the knowledge of God and the understanding of God. I think is great. What you said back in the church, this is different, but the point I'm trying to prove is says uh, you can't outbeat God given, no matter how hard you try. You know what I'm saying? But let's just see if you can. That's not a play for you to start giving money. But I'm just saying, because I can't, let's just try. Because all you're gonna get is good from it. Once the more you try to uh, uh, um, become closer and to get into God and to grow in God and to learn and understand His knowledge. I'm not talking about books. That type of knowledge and learning, Solomon tells us there's no end and it's exhaustive. You know what I'm saying? But learning and leaning more into God on how to do these things, how to be in marriage, how to have marriage conflict, how to
How
eliminate
to
conflict,
resolve.
how to resolve, how to eliminate conflict, how to love one another, how to like. There's a lot of, if you just go through the book, there's a lot of how tos that God has already laid out in His Word. So yeah, just begin to build.
So we're going to seek and search, and we're going to see what the word has to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, because even in our marriages, that's an institution that's established by him,
Right.
and then he established that institution for us to develop in. If we're a woman, the role of a wife; we're a man, the role of a husband. These are where we develop a closer, intimate relationship with the Lord, a closer, intimate relationship with our spouse, and we discover who we are and who we can be and the things that we can do in the Lord, like we can actually become, and we can develop and exercise this development and growth in this role of a wife or a husband. So the scripture that Patrick and I will be reading from today is Proverbs 31, and that is very famous passage, and usually it's for Mother's Day or whatever, but in particular for Mother's Day. But we thought that it would be very important to highlight Proverbs 31, verses 10 through 12, and it reads, "Who can find a virtuous wife?" This is from the New King James Version. "Who can find a virtuous wife? For her worth is far above rubies. The heart of her husband safely trusts her, so he will have no lack of gain." Verse 12, "She does him good and not evil all the days of her life." And I love how King Lemuel's mother, how she was giving him advice, but she was also stirring and piquing his curiosity by asking the question, "Who can find a virtuous wife?" And so when we ask questions, that get our minds to thinking, who can? And can it be me? And not only that, when the question is asked, is that me? And so when we read in this text, we want to take a look, especially for us wives, we want to take a look to say, am I a virtuous wife? Am I, another version say, who can find a virtuous and capable wife? And again, before you can become a virtuous and capable wife, you have to be a virtuous and capable woman.
If you believe your marriage is in need of coaching, Shamika and I are certified marriage and life coaches. Just log into our website, www.hiswifeherhusband.net, to book your discovery call.
Wives, if you are looking for one-on-one coaching, put his wife in the notes section.
Husbands, if you are looking for one-on-one coaching, put her husband in the notes section.
Husbands and wives, if you are looking for marriage coaching as a couple, put his wife, her husband in the notes section.
Remember, our purpose is to help you build
and sustain your marriage
from a biblical perspective.
So go on over to www.hiswifeherhusband.net to schedule your discovery call today.
So does becoming a virtuous and capable woman set you up to become, or is that once you become a virtuous and capable woman, does that automatically mean you're a virtuous and capable wife? Because the question is, who can find a wife? In my mind, just thinking, that means she has to be wifey, or she has to carry herself like a wife before even getting married. You know what I'm saying? So it's what does Myron Golden say? Be do, be do. That means I be it, then I can do it, then I can have it, whatever that is that I need to have. But you have to be the wife. Or I think one version talks about, is that Proverbs 20, talking about a righteous man. Who can find a righteous man? That means he has to be righteous first so that he can do righteousness. You know what I'm saying? So that's part of it. So it's like, man, when guys are looking for, like, you go through your stages, your whoring stage. But every guy that going through a whore goes that's going through a whore stage, he is looking for a
A
wife.
wholesome, a wholesome
He
wife.
is looking for someone, check this out, the text, that he can entrust his heart to. Like, dudes be like, I think I found one, bruh. Like, I think I got one. That means I finally found someone that I can kick my shoes off. You know what I'm saying? And her presence. I finally found someone that, even for the dude that's tough. There was a dude who was there was a guy at Chickasaw, like, he would beat up grown men. We took Chickasaw Junior High,
Okay, that
and
people don't know. Everybody not from Memphis.
that's right.
It
And
was a middle school. We
middle
attended.
school, but I think it was his sister. His sister was off, but she was just talking about how much of a teddy bear he was. You know what I'm saying? But the outer core, he needed to be so
Tough.
tough, and so that woman needs to have the virtuous and capability of allowing this tough guy to entrust his heart, because the outer core of his heart has to be hard, or he feels like it has to be hard. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that's the dynamic of a man too, and I think that will go back to a virtuous and capable. Well, let me go back to answer your question. The question is, yes, the prerequisite to being a virtuous and capable wife would be to be a virtuous, capable woman. So that means that you possess these qualities of value and worth before you enter that role.
That's deep.
And so once you enter that role, then you continue to develop and become. And so that's the thing with development. It means that you're continuing to grow. You're growing in seasons and stages of life, and you're just getting better versus you being um, uh, an unexcellent, uncapable woman trying to become that when you get in the role. Like, no, if you don't have a wife heart before you get in the role, you're not going to all of a sudden get it when you enter that role, because it's still more learning and development that has to take place. And so if you learn the discipline of or can I say the art of being a woman, knowing how to control your emotions, knowing how to handle your own, knowing how to handle even others in your community, knowing that you can be a place of compassion and care for when someone needs your shoulder to cry on, and you don't expose them and you don't just throw them out there. These are how you're developing that characteristic of being able to handle just your husband's heart, where he can take his shoes off, because you have practiced hospitality in your life with other individuals. And so people can tell from afar, oh, that young lady is going to make a beautiful wife someday. Why? Because she maybe has been developing certain skill sets of maybe maintaining a home, maybe looking out for her parents, maybe looking out for babysitting other children, or even just how she carries her own life. These are things or characteristics that you see that are indicators that she has potential of being and serving in this capacity.
That's good. And for the fellas part, I mentioned about a righteous man. You have to be righteous first. So I think the righteous man and the virtuous woman, that makes a wonderful couple, that they have children who turn back and bless them, because they both are instilling into their children righteousness and virtuousness. I think virtuousness is a good word. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah.
And I love also, if we can move on, it say for her worth is far above rubies. And so when you think about, I know I am a person that enjoys the beauty of jewels, the daintiness of it, and though it is a light, it can be light, but it is still it has a way of complementing what already exists. It just brings out the beauty of the outfit or the beauty of the neckline or whatever the case. If it's a necklace or a ring or whatever, it's an adornment. So it just complements. But it's something about when you think about a jewel, it's small in size, but it has great worth to that person. Usually, when a jewel is given to you, it's attached to some experience, maybe some event or some occasion that you are being honored or you're being celebrated. And that jewel, it just like adds worth to it. It's like, oh my gosh, they had to save up and they thought about me, and you have to handle it with care. So you can't be rough with it. You have to be able to handle it with precision. It's kind of like when you have certain jewels on, you don't do certain activities because it has great worth, and you don't want to run the risk of losing it. And so I believe that that's the same way when it comes to a wife, when it comes to a virtuous wife, because her worth is far above that of rubies. It's rare, and you don't run the risk of losing it. The husband makes the adjustments to make sure that he protects her and that he lets her know that, hey, you are a jewel that I have found, that I am not going to just let somebody, or even not even me, treat you any kind of way. I'm going to treat you with so much care. And it's not because you don't have the strength, because that jewel is a stone. So it's a hard thing,
Correct.
but it's still very delicate. It's very it's
Just the right word, valuable.
yeah, it's
You know what I'm saying?
valuable. Yeah.
Yeah. But you stole what I was about to say.
Oh really?
Yeah. So I'll reiterate it though. But
Yeah, I love to hear your
when
voice.
he says when the word says she's, what does it say? She is more precious than rubies. For me, it's the guy looking at the woman and valuing her,
Yeah.
placing value, like he looks at her as his word. He looks at her as I don't like that word, but again, she's priceless. Like there's nothing that compares.
Nothing could be exchanged
Nothing
for
can be
that.
exchanged for this
Yeah.
woman. She is
Yeah.
priceless. There's not enough
Yeah.
money that could, like, whatever. No, I want to. I am taking ownership of. When I say ownership, meaning
Better
be
fix
like,
it.
'cause that
I knew what you
this would
meant,
be the
but
one video that you had 1,000 comments on.
you don't own me. Ain't no property.
When
That's
I
not
when
what.
I mean responsibility. Well, then say responsibility then. Old school.
Old
That
school.
he takes the responsibility for caring for, like he wants
Caring
to
well. Yeah.
care
Yeah.
well
Yeah.
for her. Now,
Yeah.
again, she's caring for herself. I get that. But he's like, man, I want to do my part too
He's
in making
making
sure
investment.
she stays as pure and as valuable as the day I saw her or the day I found her. Who can find one the day I found her?
Yeah.
So it's the mindset. Now, here's the thing. I'm gonna switch it back to the women. Carry yourself. Like, don't carry yourself worthless. Carry yourself, or honor yourself, like how you want to be treated or how you want others to treat you. Treat yourself that way, and don't take less than being treated. Don't take being treated less than your value and your worth. That's what I want to say.
Don't drop the standard.
Right.
Don't drop the standard. One of the things that came to my mind too.
Keep the standard, because when you start lowering the standard, we feel like then at that point, okay, I don't have to do as much. You know what I'm saying? And then I think it's an exchange between both. Like husbands, men, we need standards. We don't say that to the men a lot, but men need standards too. And like I've really teach. No, we always try to teach girls, keep yourself to your marriage, and I'm like, men, young men,
You
keep
just as
yourself to your
valuable
marriage.
too.
You know what I'm saying? Because whatever, I ain't
You
getting
don't
to
want
that
to
part.
give it all to everybody
You
either.
don't want to
You
give it
just
to nobody but your wife. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah,
So
yeah,
she ain't, like, if she's not your wife, she ain't worth,
yeah.
getting between your legs.
So don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so true. And when and I think that um, that approach alone would curtail a lot of the reckless and haphazard activity of a sexual immorality
Mm-hmm.
in our society when we can continue to raise that standard
Mm-hmm.
of excellence, personal excellence. It will show up in our choices when it comes to um, abstaining
Yeah.
until that appointed
Yeah.
time.
Because I value myself
Mm-hmm.
too much to give it to anybody.
Yeah, yeah,
I I,
yeah.
I was looking at, I
I'm not gonna
forgot
dumb myself down.
the um the football player, one of this football player who was known for being a virgin, and the guys were, they were teasing him. He said, "Well, at any day I could not be a virgin, but you can never go back to being a virgin." And he just, like, when you take those bold stands
Mm-hmm.
to do it God's way,
Mm-hmm.
even if they don't agree, it's respected. You feel what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah. And I also want to comment too on when it talks about when it was talking about rubies again, and I think about a diamond and how it has different spectrums and glimpses, different glares, and I think that that's the beauty that when you find in a wife, it's like, oh, you can do that too, and I didn't
hmm,
know that about you
it's deep.
either.
That's
So it's
good.
just different glimpses that you
Hmm.
get when you look at it under that light or that special magnifying glasses. It's different features that you will find
Hmm.
that it's like, oh, this make me love this jewel all the more,
Yeah.
or make me it's of greater value because it did this and it does this,
Yeah.
and yeah, it has its own mark, its own markings, its own
Hmm.
uniqueness.
And then I'm looking at how can I add value.
Oh, that was the other thing I was gonna say.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh yeah, and we
How can I add? No, I'm just playing. Go ahead.
and how over time that jewel will continue to be increased in the
Increase in value.
appraisal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't. I'm not. This does not depreciate.
Yeah.
It actually grows with time in
Yeah.
greater value.
That's good.
And so that's how it should be with your wife. The way I believe, and I will hope that you could say this too, is that how you value me to ask me to be your wife. And we went through the process that now 20 plus years later, my value has gone up
Mhm.
than that first year.
Mhm.
Then that second year, it's like, oh, it's getting better and better and better. And so, yeah, we want to make sure that we continue to add value and to continue to value
What
one
you mean?
another.
Okay, gotcha. Add
Mm-hmm.
value. So to I guess reiterate or to make clear for me, I want to do things. Check this out. I want to do things that add value to myself, because I think if I do the things that's necessary to add value to myself, my wife would see that and want to add value to what I'm adding value to anyway, and vice versa. She's adding value to herself. She's growing and getting better at whatever it is. I see that, and I want to make
You
sure
want to
I
come up?
add to that as
Mm-hmm.
well, so that I can help increase the value that she's already doing for herself, and
Mm-hmm.
it becomes this greater uh, um, appraisal, or this greater thing.
Mm-hmm. You begin to grow together.
Yeah.
Basically, it's this becoming one. It's
Hmm.
this merging and this. It's like but you know what's coming to mind? It's marital equity.
It's good.
It's marital equity.
Yeah.
Before you know it, it's like, I'm taking care of not only the outside but
Yeah.
even the inside.
That's good.
I'm not just just making sure that I'm being your wife, but even being that woman.
Hmm.
And the same for you. It's not just showing up as the husband, it's showing up my manhood.
As a righteous man.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. And it's like, oh my goodness, the equity. It's like it triples it whatever and it increases in value. Why?
Hmm.
Because look, you coming up. You
Hmm.
coming, the standard is coming up. So it's really good.
That's good.
All right. And then verse 11 has the heart of her husband safely trust her. And so he will have no lack of gain. Again, the heart of her husband safely trust her, so he will have no lack of gain. And so the reason
Let me read the NLT version.
okay.
It says, "Her husband can trust her, and she will greatly enrich his life." That I like that version. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
And so, when you think about it, because she already has her value and worth, the husband is basically because she has proven her worth now.
Yeah.
And the most valuable thing that he possesses as a man is his heart.
Mm-hmm.
Because look, you're the treasure I've found.
Mm-hmm.
But now, baby, I got, I could just imagine the husband saying, baby, I got some things, some dreams, some aspirations.
Correct.
I have some desires that I want for both of us.
Mm-hmm.
And let me run this by you. Is
Mm-hmm.
what that sound like.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What you think about? That's him giving you his heart.
Mm-hmm.
Baby, I'm frustrated. I'm stressed. I'm sad. That's what him trusting her heart looks like. And she does not take that and badger him, or she does not make him feel less than,
Mm-hmm.
or she does not make him feel foolish for the
Mm-hmm.
dreams that he has.
I forgot what I was about to say. The guy, the movie, the movie in the movie, she kept saying, "Was he having an affair?" I mean, physically, and he said no, and she said, "Wow, it's worse. It's worse. She has your heart." And so we do want a woman that we can, I guess the word, and we probably won't say it, but we should. But we want a place where we can be vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? Where I can just be be transparent and naked enough to tell you because sometimes I don't,
Your
depending on where you
fears,
grow,
your faith,
depending on where you grow up, part of town, the neighborhood you grow up in, you're
family.
taught you have to be tough. You gotta be tough. You gotta be tough. All right. And so sometimes we have vulnerable and fearful moments, and we want a safe place
To land.
to vent or a safe place to say this and it not be taken as weakness. No, I want to be able to cry in front of her without her thinking I'm weak. I want to be able to, say to her, I don't know, without her thinking that,
You're a poor leader, or
yeah,
like you're
yeah,
not.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And so I need that place for a moment so that I can, so that I can release this stress where I feel like that's good. I'm gonna use text. I want to be able to release this stress where I feel like I'll still be enriched when I tell her this.
It's an exchange.
And if I can't find it, and here's the problem: if I can't find it in my wife that I'm trying to over and over and over and over again, the unfortunate is men do find it in another woman, and
Mercy.
that's how it begins because she's willing to just listen and say, "You can. It'll be okay. It's all right. I believe in you." You know what I'm saying? Like that's what she gets, rather than one of the versions. I don't know if I'm mixing two versions. Says a man would rather be in the desert than a fault-finding wife.
Then with a.
He would rather live in the desert than with a fault-finding wife. I mean,
Yeah.
every time I bring something to her, she finds an issue with that, or a fault with that, or a fault with that. You know what? I'm gonna go to this desert where there's no water, no trees. I'm hallucinating most of the time. I'm about to die. I would rather be there than be with this fault-finding wife. Why? Because I can't entrust my heart to her.
I can't get through to
I
her.
can't I
Yeah.
can't say whatever I want to say to her without her badgering me
Getting a backlash, or
yeah,
like getting, yeah.
or she's devaluing my life. But the text says this woman, he finds like, right, I finally found someone that I can, because really, like, I don't know what kind of guys y'all grew up with, but my partners, we're mean. You know what I'm saying? I can't
Y'all
really,
what? Say
mean. We're mean to each other.
mean. Uh-huh.
Like I can't, like, bro, you still doing that? Like, man, this mind here so weak. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, where's this
Wait.
soft woman, this virtuous?
Oh, I see what you're saying, because if you, yeah, 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 yeah,
Because
because with your
if
friend,
I
your
tell my
part, yeah,
partners,
yeah,
man, you know what I'm
yeah.
saying, man, man, I'm afraid, bro. Like, man, you don't stop crying. Like, you know what I'm saying? Most,
Yeah,
like, I
yeah.
don't know, but
Got it. You don't have a safe place to land with your buddies.
well, you do, but for the most part, we feel
Yeah.
like we don't because we feel like we have to be, whatever.
Have it
At
all
least that's how I
together.
grew up.
Yeah.
Let me put it that way.
That's a good point. So you brought up something that I would like to interview you about. So you said that
Mm.
that um, you all that men say, "I found the one."
Hmm.
What are those qualities that let you know that she is the one?
So she's supportive. That's
Mhm.
one thing.
Mhm.
She's easy to talk to. When I say easy to talk to, I mean she listens.
Mhm.
She listens without judgment. But she listens without judgment.
Mhm.
Um, she's bringing something to the table, and depending on what age you are,
Mhm.
sex has nothing to do with it because we
Mhm.
can go get sex from anywhere, but she's bringing something to the vision. She's bringing something to the table. She's my number one cheerleader. She's the most supportive person I can. She always makes me feel like I can. Um, when I'm having, because
Mhm.
we'll test it to see if I can say something without her
You
getting the
said,
attitude. We'll test whether or
wait,
not
wait, wait, slow down. You're talking. So you said,
we'll
wh-
test. We will test it. We
who?
will
Oh, the
test
men
her,
would test. Okay, got
right,
guys. Yes, gotcha. Okay.
to see whether or not I got somebody that's down with me. You feel what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
once we find that, we'll go a little further and
So what are
we'll
some of
trust.
those tests?
Not gonna tell you
I
that.
tried. That was
And I
funny.
think it may be different for different men. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, I mean, it's not like we playing games, but there's a situation that's about to happen,
Mhm.
and I want to see how she's gonna react. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
If I don't, I'll give you one. I'm gonna give you one.
All right. You don't have to
I'm
because
gonna give you
it
one.
really was, it really was.
I'll give you one.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Every time we go out, you sit there and look at the paycheck. I mean,
Oh, the receipt, the
the
order.
receipt.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean
When the check comes
yeah,
out,
yeah. The receipt.
and you just look at him and look back, and you never pay for the
Grab
food.
the tab.
You
Yeah,
never grab it.
yeah,
Like you never.
yeah,
Okay, now I think okay, you out to get my money, so yeah, I'm good on that one. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that, Patrick. Good interview. But no, but for real.
Again, it's different
Hmm.
for every man, but I think for the most part, we want somebody that we know when I'm down, you
Yeah,
got my back.
yeah.
That like, bruh, I had lost, I didn't have no money. She was like, baby, I got you. Don't worry about it.
What she say?
Baby, I got you. Don't worry about it. She say that she's probably coming to the barbershop to get a hair. You know what I'm saying? He's introducing her to his barber. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Hey,
yeah.
what's up, Pat? Hey, man, this Keisha right here. Keisha, this my barber. Pat, we go a long way. Yeah, yeah. Like that's then I gotta wait till he come back. Then he's like, bro, what you think? That mean how she look? So I'm like, bro, she look straight, man. Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, man, she be there
Man,
for me,
she a
man.
keeper, man. She a winner.
She a winner, bro. Like, okay, what's up, man? Like,
Yes,
man, I was telling her something, and she was like, "That's a good idea," and she started helping me out. She started looking for stuff for me, and like, she started supporting his vision, and he felt like I didn't even ask her, and she just did it. I think I got one. You know what I'm saying?
that's it. That's
Yeah,
good. And so now that's pre-marriage, all
correct.
right?
Yep,
And so this is where we have to now bring in what we did prior to continue to main and grow through that. And sometimes, now when I say grow, when I say grow through that, I
no, I'm
don't
saying
mean
you
like
said bring that supportive that she did
what that we
before you got
did.
married to bring it
Cause
to.
yeah, cause
Gotcha.
I don't believe that any of us are married as a result of him saying, the husband asking because she was not supportive. She did something to get asked that question.
Right.
So whatever that is,
Mm-hmm.
that piqued his interest and he just did not want to live without it. It would be wise for us to do that.
A
And
righteous and wise man, yes. this is to keep it real. But sometimes they did the ungodly thing and they had sex before marriage. And so
Oh,
sometimes the guy would be like, he fell for the cookie
but wait, but
and
wait.
he wants more of the cookie.
But that's what I'm saying. So she still had to. That's not. You mean you're supporting what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So okay. So because the truth of the matter is, we probably did have sex before
For marriage,
marriage.
right?
Now, but this is why I said, man, because the cookie is soft and chewy. I don't know. I'm just thinking about the soft batch. All right. At any rate, you're going to have to keep making sure that the cookie is available. Why?
True,
Because that's what you did prior to.
true.
Now, that does not mean that life does not happen and that
Mm-hmm.
you may have things that will restrict you for periods of time.
Mm-hmm.
But it should not be that you use that as a means of manipulating to hook, line, sink them, and then you say, "Ah, I got you." Like this shouldn't be a
Mm-hmm.
parting gift. That's not
She
cool.
said a parting gift.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so whatever that thing is, if he was like, "Ooh, I just love your perfume. When I come by, it's just, oh, I just get lost in your eyes." Like, wear the perfume and let him get lost in your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't stop.
Right.
If you know that he enjoys your fragrance, then y'all go perfume shopping. I know that that's kind of
Right. No, I get you, and I'm agreeing with you. I just think at some point, because most of the guys I interact with, they're older guys and they're not married and they're looking for somebody. Sex is not what they're looking for. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to find somebody to help build an empire with them. You know what I'm saying? To build this,
life,
this,
maybe. Or
yeah.
I guess let me say, what's
Well,
the
I'm
empire?
giving the words that the guys use empire.
Okay.
Like we want somebody to build a nest egg, like bring something financial to the table, like be a good, don't be such a spender, be a saver, be an investor. Like let's work on building for retirement, you know what I'm saying? Um, and then, of course the cookie come along, but
That's not the main reason.
not at a certain age, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah, and I was gonna say now, and when I say that, that does not mean you have to only do that, like
No, no, no.
only
I
yeah,
didn't
and
think that.
only keep doing it. But I guess what I'm saying is we are prone to again become complacent, and that we will stop doing what we used to do,
Hmm.
and so we don't want to take for granted that because now we are married, I don't have to do those things.
Correct.
You still have to bring those qualities and complement them and keep them shining. If keep
Hmm.
those qualities
Hmm.
constantly being,
Hmm.
beautified is what
Correct.
I'm trying to say. It's
That's
like,
good. But that's true.
yeah,
And like if you did have sex before marriage and whatever you was doing your thing.
you repent,
And
you fix
then,
it, and keep.
well, I'm talking about you get married. So you
Okay.
finally get married.
Mhm.
Don't then cut the water off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No.
You
Yeah.
you have to, cause dang man, he
Mhm.
like that too.
Keep yourself
But
looking
now
nice and
you're
attractive.
bringing other things to the table as well,
Yeah.
um, so
Yeah.
that y'all can begin to build for a future. Because at some point, things stop working. So
Mhm.
when things stop working, what do you do now? Now you need something else. And this is where friendship has to be built as well, because they need a, like, you want somebody who's you should want your wife to be your best friend.
Mhm.
You may disagree. I'm just telling you. I want my wife to be my best friend. That becomes part of the value. That becomes, because I don't want to hurt my best friend. I don't want to hurt her. Um, so that keeps me from going out to the next person or to the next thing, even when things aren't flowing perfectly. Well, this is my best friend. We'll figure it out and we'll work together to make sure we get it straight. Yeah.
Yeah, and that would even go into verse 12 where it says she does him good and not evil all the days of her life.
Yeah.
And a friend, they look out for one another.
Mhm.
Like the intention is to do good and not evil. Like I am not going to do something that's going to harm you.
Right.
None of the days of my life. Why? Because you my friend.
Yeah.
Like, no way in the world would I want to do that.
Mhm.
And if I do, I find myself asking you to forgive me, because that would not be something that I want etched or a speck or an injury to your heart. Like, you
Mhm.
deal with a lot of things already. And so, yeah, but that does not mean that as you're sharing life, you won't bump up and bruise each other. But it should be where you sense and know that I would not intend to harm you, and same with you, with me,
Mhm.
that I should know that no, that's not Patrick's mind. Like, that's not his mind for me.
Right.
And I will say that is something that does grow over time, because when you're first married and you growing into a relationship with each other, you still learning each other. You
Mhm.
know, you still
And so it's great that you keep learning each other, because you keep changing.
yeah.
Everybody's changing, so you have to keep learning each other over and over again. I know a lot of guys always talk about she's not the same person I married. Like neither are. Like I don't think we really, because I don't know if women say that or not, but I just know I hear it from guys not. But you're not the same either, partner. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're different too. So y'all have to go back. So, but here's the thing about, if we keep that in mind, even if we just keep Proverbs 31, 10 through 12, if we just keep that in mind and keep working on that, I think that eliminates a lot of the um, adultery in the marriage. You know what I'm saying? If I keep valuing her and she keep valuing me, I, she creates a safe place for me to tell her my dreams, my hurts, my hopes. Um, I can tell her that, and she will bring good to my life and not bring
Mm.
harm to my life when I tell her that. You know what I'm saying? I think if you keep working on that and communicating that way,
Mhm.
um, those 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 attributes of relationship between a husband and wife, I think you eliminate a lot of a lot of I think you eliminate a lot of divorces. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Yeah.
That's definitely a way to affair proof.
Right.
Yeah. And make the pillow talk sweet. Sidebar, but it's true. Make the pillow talk sweet, when you're in your private time.
Mhm.
And this is when, whatever the issues that may be going on in the home, or, in the ministry, going on in the business, or in your career, maybe going on in other areas, just the fears and cares of life, I know for us, we are um, aging. We are, getting closer to, um, we're becoming, we're not as close to our sunrise. Let me say that.
Mhm.
And so, with that being said, those are things that may, the worries of life, the wonderings, and so this is where you get to share and exchange, and you work through, and you see that that person really loves you, because they're trying to
Mhm.
help you to figure out a way on how to overcome. I know sometimes for women, if you don't mind, a lot of times for women, we have a tendency to struggle with our weight. It's harder to lose weight. It's harder to get our energy up, different things like that. And so if I share that with you, and you give me a way to say, hey, well, have you tried this? Or, let's do this together. Or, I'll help you out here so you can get to bed early enough. Whatever it is, you make those adjustments together. And so the same way with your husband, if you finding out some ways that you can help him to become the best version of himself, I think that that helps us to
So
grow
men egos are
stronger.
delicate. So the answer is yes, you do. You want to do that. How to do that is the tricky part. So if you just say, so I think a question to ask would be, how can I add value to you? You know what I'm saying? And then you don't have to word it that way, but that may be a good way to word it, because if you like, if you say, hey, I see you so and so, let me do this for you. I don't know. So what you mean I can't do it? I don't know. But
Mm,
hey, how do I add value? Just I love you so much. How do I add value to you? Give me some ways that I can add value to you. Now, depending on where you are in a relationship, he may be, what I'm saying, kind of snappy with it, or he may be, maybe a butthole. You know what I'm saying? But still, take what he's saying. and then like e- evaluate, have you dropped it in those areas that he's asking for? And maybe he's saying it wrong. I don't know. But then find an area where you say, okay, that's hard for me to do right now. Emotionally, I can't see that, but I can start here and just begin to do that little thing that he's asked. Well, you guys, well, number one, I need you to, and number two, like whatever that is, don't let that get to you. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you have a man, you know he has potential, but he's not like I remember when baby used to like it's there. Okay, find an area
Mm.
where you can say, okay, I can do more of this here. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because you want this is just where I want this area of his life. I want to add good to him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying, in this area, and just begin to do that. And there's nothing wrong with asking. I don't think it's a problem with asking the question. He give you an answer, and then work on that. You know what I'm saying? And don't, well, for the past 6 weeks I've been doing this. You ain't saying thank you. Just I'm just doing it because I want the best for him.
Mm-hmm.
Flip the same way. Men do the same thing with your wives, and just find at least one area where you can improve on
Mm-hmm.
that would bring good to them in
Mm-hmm.
their life. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So,
And that will go back to touch in one of those five area love language
hmm
areas, because one thing is for sure, you all are in a relationship together, so you are definitely in the role to relate. So
yeah,
it's like if you finding it, you find yourself in a difficult place. My first thing is always ask the Lord where to start, where you can make that change because He knows what the spouses need. And I love how Patrick said, and it does not hurt to ask the question because once you ask the question, they get the wheels to spinning and creativity going, and before you know it, you'll be enjoying and having a rich marriage,
hmm
and you'll be building or you'll be sustaining it.
right.
And so guess what, and in doing both of those, we'll be giving God the glory.
Now, and all this that we're given, remember now, they have a free will
Mm-hmm.
at this point. Our thing is that we are, and so we, even when we started this channel, it was just
Yeah.
to give practical lessons or practical things for people to do, because I always tell people, I want to make sure you do everything you can. If you have a marriage that's on the rocks, is like it's about to fall off the cliff, I want to make sure that you can say, I've done everything possible to make sure that this marriage works
Mm.
out right. Like, don't be, especially if you're a believer, don't be the one to throw in the towel. Don't be the one to leave. You feel what I'm saying? And if you haven't both leave, but both of y'all, neither one of y'all should be throwing in the towel if you're gonna stay, in line with the biblical principle. But make sure whoever I'm speaking to, you're the one that says, okay, I'm gonna do all I can. That even if it does not work out, I know I've done all I could to make it work. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Mm.
Anything else?
That's it. That's
That's
all.
it. That's all. We'll see you in the next one.
Don't forget to ask me to.
Oh, here's what I do want to ask. I want to ask his wife, her husband, family. What are some things that you can do that you feel like couples can do to add value to one another? What is it that you feel like, or what have you done that you said our marriage was going this way? We started adding value to one another, or I started doing this. Like, put that in the comment section. Like, again, this channel is meant to help build and sustain. So we need your help as well. We are a family. Let's support one another. While you're here, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the bell notification, so when we drop new videos, you'll be the first one to get them. As well
Wait a minute.
as I said, make a comment. All right.
And share, share,
Yeah, and
share.
share,
All
share alike.
right.